Good morning and welcome to Inside Texas Politics. I'm Jason Whiteley. We begin with a divisive issue bubbling up between local and state leaders. Who should have more control? Texas government or local ones, the cities and counties? Perhaps the biggest example of this issue right now, Dallas's bag ban. State Representative Matt Rinaldi introduced a bill to eliminate it, and if it does pass, it could be precedent-setting. He's in studio to talk to us about it, and joining the questioning, as always, Bud Kennedy, columnist with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Good to have both of you here.
Jason. Hi, Matt.
How you doing?
All right.
Let's start with this, Matt. The bag ban doesn't affect your district in Irving, Carrollton, Capel, and Farmers Branch. Why try to eliminate what Dallas did?
Well, I actually represent part of Dallas, so some of my constituents do live in Dallas and are affected by the Dallas bag surcharge that's imposed. And the reason why I'm targeting the bag ban is because, I mean, this is a liberty issue. It's the right of people to privately contract at the point of sale. It doesn't involve outside parties, and people want to be able to have bags with their purchases.
But they're getting paper bags. Why aren't those good enough? Well, or they can pay for the plastic ones.
In Dallas, you can pay a bag surcharge. In Austin, you actually have the opportunity to purchase only a multiple-use bag. It's bad policy. It's bad business, and it isn't environmentally helpful either. The multiple-use bags that are at use in Austin, for example, take up 10 times the landfill space of the plastic bags. 90% of the people reuse the plastic bags that are given at the point of sale. They're 100% recyclable. There's no public policy reason to infringe on that right to contract at the point of sale.
But now, Matt, usually when the state gets involved, it's about money at stake. With a fracking ban in Denton, the state has a lot of money coming in from oil and gas. There's a financial interest there. But there's no real financial interest for the state in the bag issue. People are going to buy their groceries, but they might come buy them in Carrollton Farmers Branch, in the stores in your district. Why mess with this?
Well, there's really two issues. Number one is the state does have an interest because the bag bans are currently illegal under state law. There's a health and safety code provision that the Attorney General ruled in August of 2014 that's implicated by the bag bans. What it says is containers, which are bags, the Attorney General ruled, you're not able to have a surcharge on containers provided at the point of sale, and you can't.
But that's so vague, though, that no one has tried to challenge that, and the AG said they weren't going to challenge that, from what I understand, right?
Well, the AG was just asked for an opinion, so they don't make the factual recommendations. Somebody can challenge it in court, and I think it would be upheld. A bag is a container in the plain language. What my bill does is it clarifies a bag's a container. It's currently allowed to be provided at the point of sale under state law, and there's actually no reason to ban it at all. Environmental reasons, policy reasons, and businesses in my district have also complained. They have stores in Dallas as well. They've come up with problems having to do with shoplifting because of this. And there's health and safety problems.
You've heard of shoplifting because of this?
Well, shoplifting, yes. When you're exiting the store with carts at a grocery store with no bags, people can put more bags in, and there has been a shoplifting problem.
Issues of liberty, Roe v. Wade being a big example, are solved at the court level and resolved at the court level. It went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, okay, this is a matter of liberty and freedom in this case, and you may disagree or agree, but that's usually where liberty is argued. Why is the Texas legislature suddenly the paragon of setting itself up as the court to decide liberty issues?
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think the court should be the only method of deciding liberty issues? I think that every step in the process you should filter liberty issues, and the court is just the last resort.
But the court is who decides freedom of expression for a grocer or whoever. It's a freedom of expression issue. The court decides that, not the legislature.
Well, no, the court has a very strong role in interpreting the law, but the legislature has a strong role in interpreting the law also. We have a duty not to pass legislation that infringes on personal liberties. And if you look at
if it infringes, that's settled in court, right?
Well, not necessarily, because the Ninth Amendment talks about liberty rights retained by the people. And those are not judicially enforceable liberty rights. So who's left to enforce them? The people themselves through their elected representatives in the state legislature or otherwise.
Representative Rinaldi, if this passes, some say it's precedent setting for the state. And the question is, where does it stop? Does it go to fracking? Does it go beyond that to other issues?
I think it does, and I wrote an article for Trip Talk today entitled, local control always trumps I'm sorry.
Liberty.
Personal liberty always trumps local control. Local control is a very important policy. It's a very important principle of governance, and we should earn in favor of local control. But if there's a liberty interest implicated, like the right to privately contract, like private property rights, then liberty trumps local control.
There was a private contract issue in your district in Farmers Branch. The apartment owners wanted to rent to whoever came in. The city of Farmers Branch tried to stop them. You were supportive of the apartment owners' liberty, didn't you? In visas, and the Farmers Branch tried to make apartment owners limit their tenants to only people with legal visas, legal residents of the country. You would have sided with the liberty of the apartment owners.
Well, that's enforcing a federal law. Those people are here illegally. That's enforcing a public policy consideration, and when those people are taking public benefits...
So you wouldn't have sided with the apartment owners' liberty?
No, these are people who are taking public benefits from other taxpayers in the community. You have a conflict of rights, because what about the person's private property rights and their own income that's being paid as taxes, that's being redirected to people who are here illegally?
Final moments here, Representative. The biggest criticism to this is that this is micromanagement. State lawmakers are the first usually to complain about federal government overreaching into state business. Fort Worth Mayor Betsy Price even suggested that Texas leaders sound hypocritical on this issue, wanting to do the same to local governments. What do you think about that? Are state leaders being hypocritical because they're the first to complain about federal government overreach?
No, I